Hello, everyone, and today is the frickin' day, guys. We're doing this goddamn what if. We're doing What If Deku Was in Pacific Rim Black, Part 6. I'm sorry, I've been lacking the story. I've just been rewatching the series, so I will say this: Part 12 will be the final part. However, I'm slightly changing some of the storyline. Okay? Because when I watched the movie, I was pretty upset about some parts, and some things are tragic. But I want you guys' opinion what I should change. Even though I've already been thinking of considering changing a few things, I want your opinion. Anyway, let's get to this. As it's been a couple 2 days. Haley and Taylor begin practicing with their new arm for Atlas Destroyer. And Zuko's just sitting to the side watching them practice. And go cut to Taylor and Haley. As Taylor misses a couple of times, he just decides, Haley, do you have any tips? As he says, just go with the flow, bro. As Taylor just really? Boy, do you got anything? Boy just looks at him, just stretches out his hand, or puts out his hand like Iron Man does in the movies. As Lloyd says, "Oh, you two are very helpful," and as Lois says, please be better as well." As Lloyd's like, "You're all so helpful." As Taylor uses his arm and deploys the grapple hook and hits the rock. And Izuku just begins clapping with his Jaegers, great job, Taylor and Haley. You've actually done some pretty good practice. Anyway, is there anything else you want to do, or should you two take a break? As Haley says, "Let's take a break." As richly raving raving the right side's Jaeger's arm, saying, "Yeah." As Zig's "Okay." And Taylor did disable the thing, and Zuko's been actually monitoring the transmission beacon. As Zuko does not want to say anything yet, but he just says, "So, I'm guessing you two were Taylor. So Taylor, what was distracting you?" "Oh, well, it was this huge beeping noise in the Jaeger." And Zuko's "Are you mentally how do you not know what that red flashing means?" As Taylor would simply just say this, "No." As Zuko just drops his book and just says, just throws something in his Jaeger, just "Are you frickin' kidding me?" As Taylor's "What did I do?" "That's the Jaeger distress call, you dump." And Taylor was, even though Kazuka's not in Atlas Destroyer, you could see Kazuka's fucking karate chopping like Ida does with his Jaeger. And also, Izuku said this. Let me guess. Do you even know how to repair your own Jaeger? As Haley decides to step out of the Jaeger and take fresh air because she does not want to deal with that. And Loa just simply decided to say, "I'm out." Gotta check my hardware and shit. As Loa and just starts to thinking back about the missing the question that Taylor asked her about that incident. I had the Jaeger's name that made it go haywire, but unfortunately I forgot it. So, just that Jaeger name, it's one of the first Jaegers ever, the first Jaeger comic, basically. So,
Loa just begins having flashback of the incident. She was never before was a training, like AI. She was actually a Jaeger one, or a combat one. And she did one thing that was outlined for all AIs to do. Operate a Jaeger without permission or without any guidance. Note to self: this is not this was a really active like heroism. She saved her pilots, saved one of them, but the one was in a coma for about like a few years until he woke up, or he or she. I'm just saying that because it's gender. However, her pilot died in action, and Loa's Jaeger was decided to be discontinued and place her AI into that Jaeger training Jaeger because AIs are not allowed to take control of a Jaeger without fully like authorization or have the exclusive like permission to, because AIs really do damage to Jaegers sometimes. If you guys think that my logic is dumb, tell me. Anyway, let's get back into the story. Zuku's like, do you not know the training manual? Okay, top 10, Taylor. Top question, Taylor. On the comms. Do you know how to repair your own Jaeger? As Taylor's like, yeah, who wouldn't? As Zuko's like, okay, good, you got the basics done. But do you know how to repair a Jaeger from the inside? As Zuko's like, no, not Zuko. Taylor's like, what? As Zuko's like, oh, did they not mention that in briefing? As Taylor's like, no. Why would he ever know that? As then, oh, give me a minute, I'm just processing something. Okay, there you go. Zuko was like, so you do not get any special lesson. Okay, you see, Taylor, I got special lessons because I was really smart at my time, or actually extremely smart for my academy. Not my cat. Well, not the well at the academy. I showed the most promise, and plus I got all my studies done much more faster than my other classmates. So they gave me something interesting. Sorry, guys, give me a minute. They gave me extra classes so I could study a bit more in case of an emergency and piloting solo and how to repair some Jaegers. In fact, my Jaeger's actually pretty much like parts I found in the whatever the GCPD like remnants of the base. And I just scrapped wherever I could. Sure, there were some machines there that were able to like sometimes put the Jaeger parts in my Jaeger. Hell, even Stryker, who was literally ripped to shreds, since the GPD has been ripped to shreds, and I managed to scavenge a few parts that I needed. Had to use some Jaegers that are really broken and destroyed. It really broke my heart because all of them were in so bad condition. I just wanted to use them so I can get parts and scrap them for this Jaeger. As Taylor's like, okay, but what about the stress beacon? Trying to get out of the thing. As Zuko's like, you know what? Fine, let's go. We cut to Haley and Boy. As Haley's just look like just breathing in the fresh air, just like, Boy, where'd you? As Haley's looking for Boy, like, Boy, where are you? Boy, oh, as Haley gets jumped by Boy, she just scared the hell out of her. As Boy was like, Haley was like, don't scare me like that, Boy. As Boy just smiles. Oh, God. As Boy, or as all of a sudden, like, Taylor says, hey, you two, get back in the Jaeger. We're going to the stress beacon.
As they go to distress, as they begin walking towards there, as walking towards distress beacon. However, as soon as they arrived at the abandoned city and looking all around. And one thing they found was us as they looked to the right and said, "Go away." As then someone hit Atlas destroyers like Jaeger, as they both look towards like who shot them, and they both see May just right there waving at them. And one thing Zugu's like, "Is this a friend of yours?" As the story turns to Izuku's Jaeger, like, "Yeah, she's our friend." As they go towards May, as Izuku gets out of his Jaeger, and so does Haley and Taylor and Boy. As they go down and walk towards her, May just says this. "Can't you just read the sign? Could you just stop following me for once? We're not following you." "Okay, sorry, we're not following you." Sorry, guys. I'm just really so used to narrating other people. So, if you guys want me to just do this so, is that it? Is all you got like this example? Nah, not really. Not really me. So whatever. Fuck. I'll get to a story. Whatever. As May starts to looks at Izuku and his Jaeger, she says, "I never seen you before. Let me guess. Did you just find each other by coincidence?" As Izuku's like, kind of true and kind of not. "I found them first." I can't remember. Not the reason why I'm doing this, guys, because I don't remember if I got made to be introduced to Izuku or his Jaeger Fury. Meanwhile, Fury and Loa begin talking for a while, and now shut up and let's go to the scene. As we cut to the part where May's downstairs with them talking about a lot of things. They were talking about a few things. Like how they should not be really following them as much. Should stop following her sometimes. Because it's kind of getting annoying. As then they're about to leave, Boy just looks at May with a smile. As May heart just begins to stop. Or change. "Hey, wait." As all of them look towards her. "Do you want some hot chocolate?" And Lloyd's like, or Taylor's like, "You have hot chocolate?" As she says, "Yeah, I do." 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes later. "It's been so long since I had hot chocolate." "Same here, Taylor. Same here." As soon as they're doing that, they start playing the juice box and begins dancing. But then May starts having a flashback of her own past, of her childhood. And having a past of Shane being in her past, but seeing him walk into the building. Okay. So, after that, Fury and Atlas Destroyer their chat was cut short. Why? Because Copperhead literally footballed them in their face. or like a zombie like soccer ball, or a zombie like football guy, tackler. Talk about both Atlas Destroyer and Obsidian Fury. Why? It was in the show. As all of them begin running out, Izuku looks at his Jaeger and looks at them like, you two, May, May, and May and Taylor. To be honest, I forget the character's name, so I wrote him down in his fucking notebook. You hear me slapping this? I had to write this shit down so I didn't fucking forget. Sorry for the lack of goddamn language. So, by the way, this will only be part 6. And part 7 will be from season 2. And after I complete that, I am going to be so happy to have the series done. So, appreciate it. As then Izuku says, begins to draw away the creature, or more precisely, he begins running to his Jaeger. So does May and Taylor. However, not May, yeah, May and Taylor. Haley was knocked out because of the rubble, or because of the impact. And after that, Taylor, Boy just was looking at her as the copperheads were charging towards them. As Boyd's eyes begin to turn bright red and turn around and face the kaiju, he opened his mouth and it was a foamy, it was like a blue glow. Taylor, or Boy, transformed into his Jaeger form and looked at Copperhead. As they both begin to clash into each other, Copperhead tries to push Lloyd down, but Lloyd pushes him back and punches him into a building. However, Copperhead comes back onto the ground and swings his tail at Lloyd, knocking him into a building, pinning him down. And the rubble falls on him and he's stuck. As Haley begins trying to calm him down, run towards him, trying to protect him. As Atlas Destroyer gets up, as charges towards Copperhead, and punches him, pushing him back by a few meters. As Taylor says, Izuku, where are you? As Izuku says, I can't do anything. As Taylor's like, what? What's wrong with your Jaeger? It took some damage. My movement process. I have to reboot my Jaeger. As Taylor's like, how long will that take? A couple of minutes. Besides, you can do this one without me. As he was like, yeah, are you sure? As Taylor was like, yeah. Okay. Taylor. Okay, Izuku. Hey, you hear what he said? As May's like, yeah. Of course I did, idiot. We are on the same frequency. If you guys think that this is now getting more interesting, tell me, okay? Sorry my voice sounds like, depressing, so whatever. As May calms down Boy and looks towards them. As now she sees Atlas Destroyer kicking the hell out of Copperhead. As they use Atlas Destroyer's grapple shot and grapple onto Copperhead's chest and rip a piece out of his flesh. As Copperhead roars out of anger because of his pain. As Copperhead is charging towards Atlas again. However, Atlas does the same trick again, but however, rips off Copperhead's arm or foot as it's enraged by this. As May decides to do something. May, during that time, May was running towards. I can't remember their goddamn family's Jaeger name. I think it was, Fury? No, that's not it. Basically, they're Jaeger. And May seeks to put the missile in place and gets into their parents' Jaeger. As May and May and Taylor are like lowering the beast in. The beast knocks him out or pushes him to the ground, pushes their Jaeger to the ground, making him slide. Taylor, or more precisely, May begins. Okay, just bring the kaiju there, and they did that. As she launches a missile at Copperhead, as it goes into the chest wound, as Copperhead just floats there for a split second, and his whole body begins to glow and burst open, or more precisely, exploded everywhere. Blood and guts went everywhere. And now we go to the part where Taylor, or Haley, begins to show them what happened to Boy, and when they went there, they see Boy as a kaiju. As both May and Taylor say this. Do you know what this means? May Taylor says. May says what? Kaiju. And there's a new breed of there's a kaiju and a human. They've done it. And that'll be the end of part 6. For now, if you guys have anything to say about if this chapter was a bit lacking, tell me. But I did put it all, I did try my best. So, please enjoy this. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.